All right, man. Torture Talk. You know what it is. How y'all doing, man? Hope everybody's good. All right, man. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. Today's episode, man. Kendrick Lamar is being hated on by two of the, I would say, I'm not going to say greatest lyricists of all time, but two of the top lyricists of all time. And I want to talk about this because I did a whole breakdown of who was better out of Kendrick and Lupe. I had Kendrick winning. Jay Electronica is now up. And we're going to go through some of the things that was said by Jay Electronica and Lupe and why they hating on Kendrick now. And I think that there's a lot to be said here, especially for Jay Electronica. I think that Jay Electronica and Lupe have this, they feel like Kendrick Lamar doesn't deserve, in my opinion, this is how I feel like they feel. You know what I'm saying? I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I feel like they feel like Kendrick Lamar is in the spot where they supposed to be. And I feel like they feel like they're making music that is more representative of what the culture is, especially when it comes to hip hop, than Kendrick Lamar is. But I'm going to tell y'all why Kendrick Lamar is 10 times better than them. I'll tell y'all why at the end. Make sure y'all stick with me. So before I get into that legendary spill, this is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. If you're new here, let me work for your subscription today. All the beautiful, single, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know to find the ones that just don't harass them. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content absolutely free. But if you want to leave a donation, link is right on the screen. Cash app. No more PayPal. They call me the Hidden Gem. 1,300 subscribers to over 19,000. Yes, I am the king of the North. Let me know what kingdom you are from, man. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. I love all y'all for clicking the video. Really do. Yesterday I said that I had got a copyright strike from YouTube because of Drake in the song Trump Tower. I'm probably not going to be doing too many reactions because I'm not trying to get no more strikes. So I'm going to chill out on the reactions. Now I will be reviewing and I'll pick out the parts that I like the most and talk about that. And if I do a reaction, it will be a silent reaction. So be prepared for that. Now, somebody said that I should make a Patreon and then do reactions on there. I might do that. I might do reactions on my Patreon when I do make one. And this way I can react to the song. You guys can join the Patreon, pay a fee, whatever. I got to figure out how much I'm going to charge everybody because I ain't trying to break people's pockets. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be quality. So either way, I know that was a long intro, but thank you. So look, man, let's get to it. Let's do it. All right, this comes courtesy of Fantastic Hip Hop. So let's get it.
Now, when it comes to Kendrick Lamar, well, listen, as you already know, and you are about to see more than ever, in a rap game filled with snakes and losers, there are so many people on all corners of the genre rooting against Kendrick, and things like this happening. I gotta tell you, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, because honestly, guys, I am at a point where from how much hip-hop media is downplaying Kendrick Lamar's accomplishments, not just on the Drake side of things,
Listen, I just said this. I did 2 episodes about this. It seems to me like they're downplaying his success because Drake's not on top anymore. Because they want Drake to be on top. It's like this is crazy, man. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, man. This is crazy. It's crazy.
But from the whole perspective of it, I'm pretty annoyed, but what this got me to thinking about and what we are going to be talking about today is how when it comes to people hating Kendrick Lamar and actively rooting against him, while you have your people like Drake, academics, and all of these other losers whose disdain for the guy is not that surprising because, well, he actively stands in the way of everything they have built empires of lies and chaos from, there is another side of hip-hop that also hates Kendrick, and to be honest, when you really understand why and see what they have been actively doing to try and take down the one lyrical rapper in an era of guys who can't even make a complete sentence at the top of rap to just ruin him? You will realize that just like Kendrick Lamar has been talking, telling, and warning us about, the rap game is filled with some serious weirdos and snakes, and there are some genuine problems. So listen, before we get into looking at the—
I agree. I think that every rapper should be acknowledging that Kendrick Lamar is where he's at right now, and they all should be pushing it up even further. That's my opinion. I think that Kendrick Lamar is doing something that no rapper has ever done, and rappers are not out here supporting it because they're so used to mediocre material. I'm sorry. It is what it is. I'm sorry. I look high, right? Don't I look high? I promise you I don't get high. I don't do no drugs. Never did. Sorry. You thought I'd get high. Maybe I should open my eyes wider. Then again, I still think I might get high. Why he got his eyes like that? He must be on coke. Like, nah, I ain't doing nothing.
Rappers who throughout this entire era and Kendrick Lamar's whole career really, well, aside from Drake, have been the biggest haters of him and have tried to turn the inner circles of rap and hip hop and the gatekeepers of the whole thing against him with some real Hall of Fame hating. Make sure to leave those likes because once again, as there is seemingly an effort coming from the Cupcake Drake side and from these other corners of hip hop now to take down Kendrick, we just got to expose all of this. And so now with these two rappers who I am singling out today, there is a lot of history, not just with a tumultuous past with Kendrick Lamar going into whatever differences they have had, but really in the lineage and vacuum of hip-hop as a whole, and after an era of lyrical and conscious superstars in the likes of the Nas's and Tupac's of the world. Well, going back to the 2000s, before Kendrick was ever a thing, who would be the next guy to stand as the face of rap and be a superstar who was just as flashy as the other top guys on the charts, but was not talking about the—
That was pretty fire. I ain't gonna lie. I thought that was pretty fire. I think that's that song. I know I can. I think that's that song. I think that's it. I think that's that video. No, I'm not tired. You're sitting down talking a lot. Start to take in some air, man, you know? It's like, yo, go to sleep, bro. Take a nap. Nah.
Typical commercial things that was talking about a much realer and powerful set of topics. And within the lineage of rap, before Kendrick got to filling this void and taking it over in a way that no rapper has ever been able to take things to, there were two guys who once it felt like they were destined to have the spot that he has had now for over a decade at this point, and who we're seeing is not just the next superstar and face of conscious hip-hop, but really these guys were seen to many people as the next greatest rapper of all time, and I am serious about that. And who I am talking about, well, if you have not figured it out, are no other rappers than Lupe Fiasco and Jay Electronica. And now with these two MCs, unlike Drake, who we can call out for being a loser Karen who has sold out hip-hop's core values and wants Kendrick to fail so that he can make more 2C slides and the genre gets less T-Pabs overall, with the beef and tension between Jay and Lupe against Kendrick Lamar, the issue is much more nuanced and complicated, as even when it comes to the talent level of these other two MCs, well, listen, if you have heard songs like Mural from Lupe or Exhibit C from Jay Electronica, you know these are not Drake level rappers, and just like so many other people thought before Kendrick Lamar came along, well, to some level, and you can even still see this with the stuff they still drop, many people at a point thought that they could have been the next GOATs of the rap game as a whole.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now why I never thought that. Never. The reason why Lupe Fiasco and Jay Electronica, in my opinion, could never be the GOATs of hip hop. Number one, they don't have the aura for it. They don't. They're really good lyricists, but they don't have the aura. Number two, they are not, and I repeat, they are not as versatile as Kendrick. Lupe could rap different ways, but he's not versatile. When I mean by versatile, and this is kind of complicated for me to say about Lupe because you have to follow me on this because it might seem like he is, but he's really not. Lupe is a lyricist within himself. He's not a lyricist for everybody. Let's just say it like that. That's the best way I could put it. So most of the time, his lyrics, only certain people will get it. Everybody won't get it. This is the reason why he would never be better than Kendrick, in my opinion. People say his pen is better than Kendrick, whatever. That's a debatable thing because lyrics are subjective. So if you think that his pen is better than Kendrick's pen, it could be subjective. I could say, well, no, I disagree because Kendrick is more clearer than him. And that's what lyrics is. Some of the songs that Kendrick does, Lupe could never do. Some of the things that Lupe does, I believe Kendrick Lamar could do it, and he can even do it better, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? If you look at it from this point of view, if Kendrick Lamar can do all of these subliminal messages, it's nothing for him to sit down. If Kendrick Lamar sat down and said, I'm just going to be a lyricist, that's all I'm going to do is just rap. I'm just going to be a lyricist. I'm not going to try to do nothing else, no other concepts. I'm just going to try to be the greatest lyricist, use double entendres, wordplay, similes, metaphors. You think that Kendrick couldn't do that? He couldn't do what Lupe does. So Lupe's one of one. No one can ever write like Lupe. No one. Not Black Thought, not Cannabis, not none of these other rappers, Vinny Paz, Royce the 5'9", Eminem. Nobody could rap like Lupe. Daylight. Nobody could rap like Lupe. Like, come on, bro. It's all subjective. Now, Jay Electronica, I'm going to explain. I'm going to let the video play a little more. Then I'm going to explain because I don't want to keep on going. So I'm going to explain.
And so now listen, since Lupe and Kendrick's beef is more known because Lupe seems to come out and try to up Drake and tear down Kendrick's pen whenever he can despite swearing that he is not a hater, we are going to start this video off by looking at Kendrick and Jay Electronica's beef, which for those who don't know, Kendrick Lamar has dissed Jay Electronica by name on a song that while it never officially released, was the original version of his track Element. And listen, here is what Kendrick said after Jay kept dissing him over and over again in all sorts of ways, which read, Jay Electronica through silences on my Grammy night, another prophet hoping that God will give him life. And with these lines, Jay's career, his disdain for Kendrick Lamar, and just the general perception of what his legacy will be, really have never been more perfectly described, and at that, especially from the guy who he almost wishes, or at the very least, is jealous of to some degree. Because really, when we break it down for Jay Electronica and the legacy he is leaving in rap, he is a fallen prophet that no matter what he has done in his time in rap, he will always be viewed as a what.
That was a bad picture of him, boy. Woo. That was him. Look at that. Look at this picture. I don't want to crack on his teeth because my teeth a little yellow too. It's not, my teeth ain't perfect white. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta blow this up. Every time I press that, that's the face that comes up in my mind. I don't know. He picked the perfect picture for that.
Really really, when we break it down for Jay Electronica and the legacy he is leaving in rap, he is a fallen prophet that no matter what he has done in his time in rap, he will always be viewed as a what if and somebody who has always lived in the shadow of the massive expectations that they set up for themselves when they came out in the rap game. And I do recommend engaging with Jay Electronica's music if you haven't, because in a rap game that we have seen today where there is a lot of mid, I mean, listen, while the guy is a hater and nobody is on Kendrick's level, from the beats to the skits to Jay's rapping, while his music is abstract, and as Joe Budden said recently when reacting to his new projects, despite being a great technical MC, it's hard to get behind the stuff he has actually sang with the messaging in his music. I still think as a student of the game and a fan of hip hop, you should understand what the mold for somebody who everybody thought the GOAT was gonna be was. And you know, maybe even listening to his music, you can clearly see why he never actually became the thing that people thought he was going to be. And so,
well, one of the reasons why he never became a thing, because he's not versatile at all when it comes to this. Now, some people might think I'm crazy for saying that, but hear me out. When you talk about Kendrick Lamar, listen to Kendrick's albums. They don't sound nothing alike. That's what I mean by versatile. It's a radical difference between the albums. The albums are pieces of art. They're not the same. When you listen to Lupe, you listen to Jay Electronica and Lupe, most of their songs sound like them. They sound like Lupe's raps. His songs sound like something Lupe would do, sound like that. If you listen to Jay Electronica, most of it is Jay Electronica, sound like something Jay Electronica would do. You listen to Kendrick Lamar, yeah, it sounds like something that you don't know who would do something like this. Totally different. Kendrick Lamar's catalog is better than all of their catalogs. Kendrick Lamar's worst album is better than Lupe's best album. Better than Jay Electronica's best album, which would be the other album, not this one. So when we compare them, they don't have mass appeal. Hip hop, let's say, they don't have hip hop mass appeal. They have hip hop appeal to people around them, but hip hop, they can't take hip hop into the next level of people who don't even understand the language. Listen to it. They can't do that. Lupe and Jay Electronica can't do that. They can't.
With that said, and what really got me thinking about Jay and Kendrick's beef is that when you listen to any of the new projects that Jay dropped, especially, which all came out within the last week, which are called Mars the Inhabited Planet, At the Rate of My Dreams, and Leaflets, I mean, with all these records, while they're not perfect and they're...
See, like, and then like stuff like that, like, that's the name of your album. Like, come on, dog. Come on, dog. I get it. We all get it. You of your religion. We get it, bro. We understand, bro. But sometimes I think that you think you the rapping Malcolm X or something, bro. And I love Malcolm X. I ain't saying that to be funny. I'm just saying, like, you're not the rapping Malcolm X, bro. You're not. I don't think you even drop that many gems that change people's lives like that. Let's be clear here. Like, you drop some gems, but not enough to say, damn, that Jay Electronica song really changed my path on how I think about life and which way I'm going to go. For some of y'all might be in tune to certain parts of the lyrics or whatever, but you can't sit here and tell me that you listen to Jay Electronica and he pushed you in the right direction in life. Like, no, I'm sorry. No, I just don't think that he did that or do that to people. Maybe it's certain people, a little bit of people, but the masses, do I believe that Jay Electronica actually changes people's mind? No, I don't. And I think that he's a great lyricist, but he is, to me, he's old news because he had his chance to actually be one of the greats. He had his chance, but you know what he did with it? He played around. He didn't push it to the next level. He waited and waited and waited. He let the time pass him by. It's not the same, bro. You don't have the same feeling no more. People People are mature enough to understand you now. That's the thing. A lot of people didn't understand you back in the day. You were ahead of them. Now people are intellectually smarter than you when it comes to these things. And they can point out that you're wrong about this, or we don't agree with that. This is what happened. You're not advanced anymore. You're just a regular rapper now. That's how people look at you.
There are some weird choices that will have you have your head scratching across the board. You can at least see an echo of the potential and ceiling that was once had with his career, and really when it does come to Kendrick Lamar. For his beef with Kendrick and the disdain that he has always held. If we want to look at why such a talented MC really does despise King Kendrick, all we have to do is not just look at how Jay and his career has remained a what if while Kendrick became the literal face of lyrical rap, but really ever since Kendrick started to become the walking legend that we have seen him turn into, he has just managed to outclass him and show that he is the best MC in every.
And it's crazy too how people are so mad that Kendrick Lamar is so successful. You can't say nothing about his catalog though. Y'all can say whatever y'all want about the Grammy wins. Oh, it's a Grammy win. And I have to always ask the people that talk about, do you believe he deserved it? And every person that I argue with, I say, do you believe Kendrick Lamar deserved those Grammys though? Even if they say it don't mean nothing, do you believe he deserved them? They be like, yeah, he do. Because they have no choice but to say that. Because he does. He does.
Possible, as if we go back to the moment where Kendrick Lamar changed the rap game forever and created one of the biggest domino effects we would ever see in the history of the genre in Big Sean's control. One of the most underrated and unrecognized parts about that song and the legacy and impact of that track really is. Well, aside from how Kendrick Lamar did everything there, well, he didn't just call out the rappers that he did, wash Big Sean on his own song and create arguably the greatest rap moment of the 2010s decade, and honestly, you could argue of all time, but he also made a moment so genre-stopping and important that people forgot and forget to pay attention to this day to the verse that followed right after on that track in Jay Electronica's very own. And from Kendrick watching him on that day to just...
Yeah, my boy gonna tell me he think Jay Electronica had the best verse on Control. I said, nigga, you just trying to be a contrary. You just want to be different. Nah, bro, he really did. You just want to be different, bro. You just want to be different, bro. Like, you really do. If you say that, if anybody say that they believe Jay Electronica had the best verse on Control, they just want to be different. They just trying to be different. My cousin's like that. He always want to be different, no matter what. He just got to take the different side, even if it's wrong. He just want to be different all the time. Just want to be different. Just different. I just want to be different. Like, why? Why do you always want to be different? Like, okay, I'm not saying you got to be the same, but you deliberately trying to go against something, even if you know it's good. You just want, well, everybody like it. That doesn't mean it's good. That means I have to stand. No, I'm not saying that you have to like everything that everybody like, but if you purposely going against something because everybody like it, I think that that's just as crazy as everybody liking something. I think it's just as crazy, if you ask me. Yeah, everybody like it, so I don't like it. Why don't you like it, though? Said to me one time, I said, why you don't like Kendrick? He said, I just don't care for him. And I said, you never heard his albums? No, and I really don't want to listen to him either. I'm like, why don't you want to listen to his albums? Because I just don't. I think he corny, but I don't care. I don't even care to even listen to his albums. I'm like, so you think he corny, but you don't want to listen to his albums? No, because I don't care. That's why I'm saying I think he corny, so that's why I don't want to listen to his albums, because I think he corny. And I'm like, but you call yourself a hip hopster though. You love hip hop. I do. I listen to, so you listen to Soulja Boy's albums. Yeah. I don't think Soulja Boy that corny though. Yeah.
seeing the way their dynamic evolved and Jay Electronica became a Hall of Fame hater as Kendrick Lamar became a further and further first ballot rap Hall of Famer. Really, everything built from Control on, and we really did see the peak of this when Jay Electronica dropped his diss track, which was aimed at both 50 Cent and Kendrick Lamar, The Curse of Mayweather, and he said this about Kendrick, which was very telling, and it said he got 11 Grammy nominations, y'all not equal. Man, F these people. My grandmother at 82 scrubbing floors and still running around begging for awards. And really, with this moment in their beef, you see everything.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Lyrics like that. That's what I'm talking about. Now, if you want to break it apart and look at it, well, maybe the Grammys were around for 82 years, and this is what he's saying. He traces it back to slavery, and it's like he's saying that his grandmom, she was getting awards for cleaning because she was like, if you want to do all that, that's fine. Go ahead. I'm just saying nobody want to hear all that right now. Even though I know that's old. I'm just saying. You listen to it now, people be like, what are you talking about, Doug? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think people like deep stuff, but you got to be clear enough to where it's interesting. That's, to me, is not interesting.
Thing you need to know about Jay, because when he actually did drop his 2020 album, A Written Testimony, and got nominated for Best Rap Album at the Grammys, he didn't hesitate to submit the album and embrace being at the awards. And really,
who won that award that year? Who won this award this year? Who was this? Who won that? I think it was Alfredo, but I think if you ask me, the best album on this list here is definitely The Allegory. I like Alfredo. I think it's a classic, but this album right here, yeah, this one right here, yeah, this is different. That one right there, oh my God, yes. This one here, yes, 100% is the best album out of all of these, in my opinion. I think it's the best album out of all of these. I need to see who won that. What year was this? I need to see who won that. I'll look it up later. That's right, King Disease won that. But I think that The Allegory is better than King Disease. King Disease is a classic. So you have D Smoke, Alfredo. You have what's his Written Testimony. You have King Disease and The Allegory. I think The Allegory was the best out of these albums, in my opinion.
actually did drop his 2020 album, A Written Testimony, and got nominated for Best Rap Album at the Grammys, he didn't hesitate to submit the album and embrace being at the awards. And really, there's nothing else to say, because when you see somebody diss Kendrick for having Grammy nominations, yet you ran to the Grammys to get validation, you see the hypocrisy and hatred that he so clearly had for Kendrick, which again, it wasn't about the things that he was actually saying, but it all just does come down to the fact that Kendrick is a better MC who has not just been able to outshine him in head-to-head tracks and steal his moments, but beyond just that, when it came to every other thing measurable, and especially the fame and success that Kendrick has gotten while staying true to himself, someone like Jay has just never been able to really take this in and internalize it. And what the worst part about this beef is that honestly, despite whatever talent Jay has had and the music he has made, which there are a lot of gems in his catalog, which his new song Letter to Mars showed that off to me, especially within his new 3 drops, which I do recommend if you want to listen to his music and just see what he has to offer now, especially check that.
Now, again, I'm criticizing him at the highest level of lyricism. I'm definitely not saying that he's trash. Like, if you think I said that, then you lost your mind. Like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that comparing him to Kendrick is just not something that's good, in my opinion. You can't compare these artists to Kendrick. He's not them, bro. That's just what it is.
Song out? Well, ultimately, he still decides to just be such a cornball that when it comes to this standoff with the two sides of hip-hop, in the Kendrick side, which is really the hip-hop purists, and the Drake side, which are the vultures, Jay has taken Drake's side time and time again and has upped him up whenever he can, which when you realize what he stands for and the type of MC he is, I mean, you can see that when it comes to supporting whatever the literal
Look at this. Craziness. Come on, bro.
of rap is doing. The only pure purpose of this is to spite Kendrick for the same reason he tried to flip this diss back on him in 2016. But now listen, before we go any further into this, let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself wondering whether a message or somebody trying to reach you was real or a scam? For me, I have kept to Aura for sponsoring this video. And now with that said, when you see the way that Jay has just stood against Kendrick to stand against him over the jealousy of never getting what he has and never putting in the work, when you realize that he dropped the most music he ever has in his entire career over the last 10 days, and this is a wild stat, he dropped more new songs in this span than in the last 18 years, there is just so much jealousy from
that's what I'm talking about. What comes along with being the GOAT is work ethic. You don't have enough material for you to even be considered to even stand next to Kendrick. You don't even have enough material. Your 2 albums just ain't gonna do it, buddy. Nah, no. You don't even have a classic. No, it's not gonna do it. It's not enough.
This guy for Kendrick, and it's so clear. But now, aside from Jay Electronica, the other rapper who has been a Hall of Fame hater to Kendrick really for about as much time as Jay, but their beef has been a little different, is none other than Lupe Fiasco. And let's just make something clear. First of all, I made a video about Kendrick and Lupe a long time ago, and Lupe did kind of call me out for it, and I just want to say, I don't want any smoke. But before we get into the tension, even more with Jay for Lupe, is a genius as an artist, and he is one of the greatest rappers of all time, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you otherwise, because when you hear his first 2 albums and a project like Tetsuo and Youth, there are few people who have done better when it comes to this rap thing than Lupe, but within that few people, and again, Lupe, I don't want any problems, Kendrick is clearly above and beyond one of them. And for whatever reason this is, and why this beef is so sad, is because not just would these artists work great together. And
the thing is, what I think that fantastic hip hop is, listen, I ain't afraid of Lupe. Like, whatever, dog. Trust me, whatever. I'm not afraid. The issue that I have with a lot of these artists, they, to me, they believe that their work is untouchable. And you're supposed to feel that way. You do. But at the same time, I'm looking at it from the point of view of this. Let me just speak as a casual fan. The casual fan listens to Lupe and listens to Kendrick. Kendrick wins all day. Even if you are a fan who's a fan of hip hop, you listen to Lupe and you listen to Kendrick, Kendrick still wins, in my opinion. It might be closer because people like Lupe as far as, but when we talking about, because see, the thing is, a lot of y'all, which really cracks me up, is y'all want MCs to be more like Lupe. I seen somebody do a video on why Lupe Fiasco should be where Kendrick is at, or something to that effect. And it's like, no, he shouldn't be where Kendrick is at. That's where you want him to be. But see, here's the kicker. If Lupe Fiasco was Kendrick was at, you'll be saying the same thing about Kendrick. Why Kendrick Lamar should be where Lupe Fiasco is at. The reason why Kendrick is where he's at is because he figured out that it's not just about being a lyricist. You have to be everything. Kendrick is on 10 on everything. Lupe is on 10 on lyrics, but he's on 5 on a bunch of other stuff. That's the thing. So when I'll even go as far as saying Lupe is probably on 12 when it comes to lyrics. But since you that high on lyrics, I used to have these Marvel cards, right? And on the back of the cards, they used to have all the abilities. We used to trade cards. And you got Hulk, then you got Spider-Man, then you got then you got Iron Man. First of all, I'm a DC fan, so let's just get that out the way. Justice League will beat the Avengers all day. I know y'all probably clicking off the video right now. I just want to put that out there. I'm a DC fan, but I know a lot about Marvel too. So you got Marvel, you know what I'm saying? And on the back of the card, they had these different abilities. Kendrick Lamar would be 10 on everything. Lupe would be 12 on lyrics, but 5 on a bunch of other stuff. Creativity probably would be a 9. But everything else he would easily get smoked in the cards when it comes to somebody like Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? Because Kendrick is 10 on everything. And I'll put it like this. Kendrick Lamar is 10 on everything. And Kendrick probably can go up on each one of them if he wanted to. He can always step it up. That's how good he is. He would be the greatest card in the deck. The Kendrick Lamar card would be, you know what's crazy, man? You know what? I'm about to create some hip hop superhero cards. I'm not going to use their names. I'm just going to make up a name for them. I'm going to make up a name for them. But you're going to know it's them, but I'm going to make up a name for them. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Hell yeah, I'm about to do that. Yeah.
Probably could achieve a lot more if they stood together and thought about how to connect some of their ideas, because when it comes to concept albums, I don't know if there are any two rappers who do them better than Kendrick and Lupe. But on that very point, Lupe just can't accept that, and not just has Lupe hated on Kendrick and said that he is a better lyricist than him, but even more than Jay Electronica, Lupe has done a real disappointing thing to me and taken Drake's side in the beef and with their diss tracks over Kendrick Lamar's. And again, when you see where the two stand, and you
that's because he feel like he should have been battling Kendrick. You taking Drake? He said, "Yeah, I think Drake." I mean, Averb asked him, "You don't think Kendrick Lamar is a big deal or something like that?" He said, "No." He said, "You think Drake is a better lyricist than Kendrick?" He said, "Yeah, I think Drake raps better than Kendrick." Oh man, I turned everything off. I went upstairs in my garage and I turned the full power of my house off, turned everything off. Get the fuck out of here. I turned it all off. Everything just crazy.
The skill which Lupe so clearly has, which does make it obvious that deep down inside when he listens and interacts with both Kendrick and Drake's music, he knows how to judge things that he is hearing. I mean, again, when the guy made The Cool and then you see that he is hyping up Family Matters over the Kendrick diss tracks, we know you're only hating for the sole purpose of being a hater and being jealous of Kendrick Lamar and what he has been able to do and achieve as the conscious lyrical rapper who has never once given up his style, integrity, or just his vision at all. And yet again, he has been able to achieve greatness, pull crowds like this, and play at the Super Bowl, and pretty much do any other thing that not just a real rap star could ever do, but a real musical superstar on all levels possible. And again, to just expand on this point, the sad thing for Lupe Fiasco really is that really, well, with whatever he holds against for Kendrick Lamar, this is why Game is failing to recognize Game, and while Lupe has a much worse story in the industry, as labels pretty much did ruin his prime and hold him back from taking a massive leap from classic album number 2 to album number 3, which ended up being a huge flop, but all because of label issues and not anything really to do with Lupe. Still, even with that, to resent somebody for just having a better chance in the industry and getting to a spot that really does mean a lot, as he is representing the very things that you did to an extent, and yet at the same time, while that position and even the value of it is under question, you are trying to support the other guy in Drake who is ruining things. That's just not how you should move if you put the rap game first over your own ego or disdain for another MC. And with Lupe and Jay Electronica's issues with Kendrick both, the point of what I am trying to say, and while I am sure there is a lot more rappers like them who are just yet to reveal themselves or are too insignificant to talk about, is that in this rap game that has reached the point it did and where it's falling apart in a lot of ways, well, it's because not just are the Drakes and academics of the world running a literal and total clown show that is devaluing and making people get into hip-hop yet not actually understand what hip-hop is and just create the weird era we saw for the last decade or so, but while on the other side of things, from these elite corners of rappers who maybe had ceilings that they never reached, they also hate on Kendrick Lamar and actively root for his downfall, all the way to the point that they would rather cheer for a literal mega Karen who has filed a suit over rap lyrics than a storyteller who has done the thing that
That's true. That's 100% facts. That's facts. I'm going to end it there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can watch the rest on his channel. Go watch the whole thing. Yeah, both of those guys are dope MCs, but I think that they're lacking in certain areas that Kendrick Lamar actually isn't. Kendrick Lamar is them and more. They're just them. Kendrick Lamar is everything. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing a lot of people got to understand. So, but thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. Y'all have yourself a good one. Love y'all. Peace. Bye.